Hello everyone, my name is Sue Babin and I am from the Village for Rhode Island Foster and Adoptive Families. Welcome to our cable TV show today, It Takes a Village. We have three awesome guests that are with me today. I'm going to let each person introduce themselves a little bit more. On my right is Dana, and Dana, if you could introduce yourself, please.
I'm Dana McCantsDerisier. I'm at the Office of Healthy Aging. I'm the Community Living Director.
Thank you. And Shannon, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sure. I'm Shannon Dos Santos. I am the project coordinator at the Village for Rhode Island Foster and Adoptive Families, and I am a kinship foster and adoptive parent as well.
Thank you, Shannon. And Christina?
Thank you, Sue. My name is Christina Amadeo. I'm the Director of Senior and Disability Services at United Way of Rhode Island, and that includes The Point and many other services funded by the Office of Healthy Aging.
Thank you. So as you can all see, we have some excellent folks that are going to be on our show today. Today we're going to talk about a topic about individuals that are caregivers who are over the age of 55, who are caring for a relative in their family within their home. And we use the word kinship. A couple of us said that as we were introducing ourselves. So I want to start off by asking you, Shannon, let's tell the viewers exactly what kinship means.
Sure. So when someone hears the word kinship, they often associate it with a family, but the reality is that it reaches out beyond relatives. The true meaning of kinship focuses on relationships and connections. So when we speak about kinship care, we're often referring to the full-time parenting of children by grandparents, other relatives, family, friends, anyone that has had an existing relationship with that child or parent that they're caring for. That could even be a coach, a teacher, someone from their church community. So it goes beyond that relative.
Okay, thank you. And so according to the Rhode Island census of 2020, there are close to 5,000 grandparents in the state of Rhode Island who are caring for a relative within their family. And some of those folks may or may not be involved with DCYF. The Village was very fortunate to be able to receive a grant from the Office of Healthy Aging to do more outreach into the community to begin to identify those folks that are out there and help connect them with some community supports. Because if they're not connected with DCYF, they may have some challenges with respect to, number one, even knowing what's available, number two, being able to access those resources, and even identifying themselves. It's sometimes difficult to raise your hand and say, yes, I'm caring for my family member at home. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I was really surprised to see that statistic of 5,000, close to 5,000 grandparents alone. So that technically means there's got to be thousands more that are living with another relative or a sibling or someone else that they know that fits that definition that you just gave, Shannon, of kinship. So let's talk about, so I mentioned that we have a grant from the Office of Healthy Aging. So Shannon, can you talk a little bit about what the grant is about and what the major goals are?
Sure. So the goals of the Village in respect to the grant are to connect to kinship caregivers and caregivers that are over the age of 55, to connect them to resources that are available in their community and throughout Rhode Island, to reach out to kinship caregivers and caregivers over the age of 55 who are not directly involved in the department, like you had mentioned, by providing them with that same information, the resources and the services that are available. Another goal is to provide training to staff of community agencies such as the YMCA, The Point, 211, the people that work directly with kinship caregivers, so they have a better understanding of what the challenges that are often associated with kinship care are, so that they can then, in working with those kinship caregivers, have a better understanding of what that looks like. To host special events that are geared toward that population throughout the grant period, which will also promote, connection within that population. And, as you mentioned, Sue, it's hard and difficult to raise your hand and say, I am that family member raising another child. So by offering those events, we're hoping that that would promote connection and relationship amongst others, and to create a user-friendly website.
We're going to talk about that in more detail.
We will.
Why do you think that individuals do not want to identify themselves as caring for a family member?
I think sometimes it's a cultural thing. I think sometimes it's out of embarrassment, fear of wondering what other people will think, or what happened in my family, what's wrong with our family. I don't want other people to know what's going on in my family.
That's kind of exactly what I was thinking, and just talking with people that I know. Sometimes it's an individual their family member may be incarcerated, they may be in drug treatment, there may be some domestic issues going on, there may be some mental health issues that are going on, and so the grandparent or other relative in the family steps up to care for the individual. I know I have a cousin, as a matter of fact, who is caring for her nieces and nephews because the mom actually is very sick and just unable. So there's another reason, health issues of a parent. So I want to go back to you, Dana. Can tell everybody a little bit about what is the Office of Healthy Aging, and what are your primary responsibilities?
Yeah, folks may have known us as the Department of Elderly Affairs at one time. So we had a name change, the Office of Healthy Aging, which is very positive. So basically, we are the state unit on aging. Anything aging, programs, activities we're involved in. So basically, our responsibility under the Older Americans Act really gives us the opportunity to provide programs and services for older adults, caregivers, and individuals with disabilities. And we do that by partnering in the community. That's what we're talking about today with the Village. Christina's going to get a chance to tell us about the Point. So really, we provide the program and services through our partners. So we build great partnerships statewide.
You know, it's a small state, right? Everybody knows everyone, and so it's really interesting that when good things are going on, not a lot of people know about it. And so one of the things that you had an expectation for us within the grant was that we use a variety of different outreach methods to be able to get the word out, because not everybody goes on the internet.
Right.
Not everybody, looks at emails. And so we really need to do some grassroots outreach with the various communities within the state. And it's different within the different regions of the state. And with that, it's a good lead-in, Shannon, to tell everybody a little bit about who our partner is within this grant project.
So we have the Heart Tree, who is the first and only Hispanic organization for foster and adoptive families. Wow. They actually just came up on their 1-year anniversary of developing their organization. There was a huge need for that Spanish community, and it's been a need for a long time.
And I just want to say the Heart Tree is made up of individuals that they themselves are foster, kinship, adoptive families. They are hitting the ground running by getting out there at all of the different cultural events that are going on throughout the state, and doing an excellent job with networking with the local communities.
Yeah.
I think we're really fortunate to have them as partners with us.
For sure. I did want to also mention Grants Flourish, who is a support group-based organization specifically for grandparents, and we're happy to continue the much needed supports to their members.
And it's good. Grants Flourish started specifically to do outreach to caregivers over the age of 65. And we're fortunate to be able to connect with a few of the members that are connected with that group to provide us the information, to share information that they had up on their website as resources, and the listing already of families that they were connected with. So Shannon, talk now about the types of supports that we can provide through the grant. You mentioned a few things, but some of the things that we have available through the village and that we'll have available through this project.
Absolutely. So the village offers support groups for all kinship, foster, and adoptive families throughout the month. Some of those support groups are virtual. Some of them are in person. We do have a support group that is specific for grandparents. It's the second Monday of every month, and it's at 8 p.m. Virtually. We are super excited to be running a new in-person daytime kin group. Our first meeting there is Tuesday, November 29th. I'm sorry. The village offers, what I really like about the support groups though is that some of them are virtual so that you can join virtually if you're not able to make it to an in-person group. Before COVID hit, they were in different locations throughout the state so that they were really specific to people that might have wanted to connect with each other, that could connect from the area that were local. And we're getting back to doing some of those in-person groups now, which is nice. And the special events that we're hosting, or the groups that we're hoping to run on a quarterly basis, will allow us to kind of ease back into that in-person meetups or groups. So the village also offers an open closet that is available to all caregivers. There we have clothing, baby equipment, books, toys, coats. The supplies vary based on donations and what we have on hand.
And so I just wonder, so how do people find out about the open closet? What's a way that people can find out what might be available?
Sure. So all of our information is available on the rivillage.org website.
Okay.
We do have information that is being shared as placements are happening as well. So we're hoping that that information is getting out there to caregivers as they're receiving a placement, so that if they're in need, they know they can call the village and ask for some things that they might be in need of.
So that includes, there's clothing, there's some toys, there's some small equipment, which is really important, especially for these grandparents that may be on a fixed income.
Absolutely.
And so now they're taking in relatives. Lots of times it's more than one person. I met a gal last week and she has three. A 5-week-old little one, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And she's in her late 60s. And so, things are expensive. Clothing is expensive, sneakers, all of that stuff. And if they're not getting a subsidy from DCYF, then it's really based on the income that they have within their family. So if they can find out about these resources, give us a call. Even on our Facebook page, if you say, I am looking for a toddler bed, then one of the families that's on our Facebook page will respond back with, I can get that for you. So we try to match people's requests with, and connect families together, which is another way for people to not feel that they're in this alone.
Absolutely.
That there's other people that they can talk to. And I think that that's one of the major benefits of the support groups.
I agree.
That you meet somebody else. Prior to me becoming a foster parent, I knew people that were, but they weren't really in my inner circle of friends. And so now most of my friends are foster adoptive kinship folks. So, it is really helpful to meet people, because when you meet people, they may know of a resource that you just didn't know. Like I said earlier, Rhode Island and even Massachusetts, there's things that are out there, and when you talk to people, you find out about what's going on. So that's why support groups, I think, are really helpful for folks.
Absolutely. When I had my first placement, Sue, 6 years ago, I wasn't aware of the supports that were available. So it was a different experience at that point.
Yep.
So the support groups I wasn't familiar with. I wasn't familiar with the closet that was open.
Yep.
So when we received our second placement, that's when I was made aware of the supports, but you need to take advantage of the supports and the resources that are available as well. And it makes a big difference.
Right. Did you mention the family events?
I did not.
Okay.
So family events are held throughout the year, and there are a few that are key for the village, our egg hunt, the Family Fall Festival, which we just recently had a couple of weeks ago now at this point, which was a huge success. Actually, 23% of those that attended were over the age of 55.
That's great.
That was huge.
Yeah, that's really good.
Like we had a registration form for that, and it was looking at that point like we were at the 250 number mark with children and adults, but it looked like there may have been about 16 to 19%. So to have 23%, almost a quarter of the whole event to be 55%, 55 years of age or older, that's a big deal. Right?
It is.
And I did just want to give a shout out to Sanctuary Church for always helping, right, with those events, for helping. They stepped up for this event to help with the Family Fall Festival. They're volunteers. They were really helpful. They were joyful. They were happy to work with the children, with the people that were there. It was just such a great time.
And how do people find out about the events?
So the events are often posted on our social media. Facebook page, websites, flyers are being made. We're more recently into making up postcards and things so that we have something that's tangible to hand out to people, that we can share the word, to get the word out for people to look it up. Look up the website. The information is there. It's available. We've been taking advantage of MailChimp, which can get out information to hundreds of people at once, and word of mouth.
Okay.
Like just really relying on some of our families to spread the word, to share that information with some of their friends and foster families that may not have been to an event before, kind of encouraging them to come along. We've had a lot of new families recently come in, and I think that's really what helps, is that when current foster families encourage newer families to come along and to join in these events.
Yes.
That's what helps.
Okay. I'm going to go to you, Christina, a bit, and then I'm going to come back to you, Dan.
Sure.
So, Christina, tell us about the United Way and the services and supports that you have available. You mentioned the Point and 211, or Shannon did, and I'm not sure that the viewers all know about that, so if you could talk about that a little bit, that would be great.
Absolutely. So the Point is Rhode Island's Aging and Disability Resource Center. It is fully funded by the Office of Healthy Aging. We have an access phone number, which is 462-4444, 462-4444. We also have an email that reaches every single staff person at the Point that is available. That is point@unitedwayri.org. And we also have an interactive website called My Options RI. It is based on the options that individuals have throughout the community, the options that we offer as the Point, the Aging and Disability Resource Center. So it's My Options RI. Through their website, not only you can call directly to a specific person that can answer your phone, we call that person a person-centered options counselor, but you can also fill out a form right online in order to get services. The difference from 211 is that 211 is an information and referral service fully funded by United Way with some supportive grants, general service. The Point is specialized for adults with disabilities, seniors, and caregivers. We are fully trained by the Office of Healthy Aging and other state offices to enroll individuals in a variety of benefits that range from long-term services, home and community care, SNAP benefits, and also Medicaid, Medicare, you name it, any benefits. Even if we don't know about that benefit, we will research and enroll the person in the services that they're entitled to. We get calls from individuals from all walks of life. People tend to think because it's at United Way that we only help low-income individuals. That is not accurate. We help individuals of any income, of any background, in any language. On staff, we have the languages available, such as Creole, we have Portuguese, we have Spanish, and obviously English, but we also have access to 200 languages and dialects. So any language that a grandparent might have, and believe it or not, immigrant communities are known for being grandparents and caretakers, while parents travel all over the world sometimes to make ends meet, or for other reasons that you've mentioned. So immigrant communities are more than welcome to call us. We will walk them through the social services web in Rhode Island. We will help them from beginning to end in a way that they make the choice to better suit their needs and to better suit the needs of the person that they're serving or helping.
Awesome. And I think one of the things that we'll be doing through this grant is connecting more with you.
Yes.
So that the resources that you have are listed on the website, and you're aware of our events, obviously some training stuff. So it's really important for people to know all the different resources that are out there. So Dana, what are the other resources that are available through Office of Healthy Aging that we haven't talked about?
I know. So I like this because it gives me an overview and more insight into all that we're doing in the community with our partners. It's such a great feeling to know that there's supports out there for everyone. And that's what we're trying to do all the time as the State Unit on Aging. A couple of other programs I do want to highlight are our National Family Caregivers program. And this, one of the programs underneath there is Grandparents as Caregivers. And we have two agencies, two YMCAs, the Greater Providence one and the Pawtucket, that really provide respite care to grandparents. These are 55 plus adults that are caring for relative children, foster children under the age of 18. And these programs offer activities, respite for the grandparents, but activities for the children too during school vacations, spring, summer vacations. And it's called Kids Camp. And they get to do activities throughout those different times during the program, and skilled folks that will care for the children at this time. It's a respite type of program. Financial assistance to enroll in these programs as well. They're at the Ys throughout the state, so folks can contact the Pawtucket Y or the Greater Providence Y. So those two programs are going great, and I just want to make sure that they connect with you all as well. And so I'll make that connection with these programs so we can do an extension, a streamline. If you all know of any services, then you can let them know, and vice versa. So
yeah, it's amazing the supports that are available through the Ys, and I don't think that people, swimming programs and just all sorts of different kinds of things that, again, we want to really do our best to make sure that people are aware of these opportunities, and whatever financial support that people can get, that's really awesome.
And I do want to add just what you all are doing in the communities that are Spanish speaking, as you were saying at outreach. Culturally, folks don't think of themselves as caregivers, right? It's just what you do. Right. And it's good to know that they don't have to carry the load all by themselves. So I think that's what's exciting about this
we use terminology, like we started by saying kinship and caregivers. People don't consider themselves that. It's part of the family. It's part of what is just a normal process of you do what you do because you need to do it, right? And it's the right thing to do. So, okay, that makes sense. Shannon, talk about the new website and what's up on the website.
Sure. So we were able to launch a brand new website recently that was developed by Web Brilliant. The website offers resources to all kinship caregivers and highlights additional supports for kinship caregivers that are over the age of 55. So on the website, you'll find information about the project, about our partners. There's information and links to local and national resources, events. There is a calendar that's up there that will, our support groups are linked to that calendar. Any special events that are coming up are linked to that calendar as well. There's a section, which is really exciting, about deals and discounts. And there are lots of deals and discounts, not only for caregivers, but above and beyond for those that are over the age of 55. From cell phone bills to, I can't remember everything else that's on that list, but it's under that tab.
Movie tickets.
That's right.
Like even AAA does some deals and discounts for people over the age of 55. So
Absolutely.
grocery stores, senior
Yes.
shopping day, a certain day of the week, 10% off. We're trying to get all of those things out there and post little tidbits about that up on our Facebook page, again, to alert people, because sometimes when people go to a website, they don't necessarily know where to go or how to
yes.
find something that's going to be of benefit to them. So that's why I think
Absolutely.
it's important to keep highlighting the deals and discounts.
Yes. Yep. Next to the deals and discounts is learning opportunities, which highlights some various videos on different topics that are often relevant to children that are in care with kinship caregivers. So there's a bunch of different topics listed there, and then frequently asked questions that come up often, or questions that people might think and not ask are listed there. There's a lot of information
There's a lot
on
of
there.
stuff.
There really is.
It's actually a work in progress.
It is.
It is
yes.
evolving.
But it's a good start.
Yes.
It's
It's
an
a
great
excellent
website,
start.
yes.
It's an excellent start. So we're going to grab some information from you at United Way and you guys over at OHA, because I think we all need to link everything together.
For sure.
I believe too one of the resources that you talked about, Dana, the Kinship National Program is also linked on there already as
It is,
because
yes.
they run some free training programs. Because one of the issues that families struggle with is behavioral issues of the child. You know, the circumstances that the child ended up with that grandparent or relative or caregiver are sometimes not the best. And so that affects the child, which in effect affects the family unit. So it's nice to see some of the trainings that are available through video that are listed on the website. So that's a good resource.
For sure.
And what about some upcoming events that we've got
Yeah, so we have,
planned?
I mentioned really quick, and I just want to mention it again, is that first time daytime in-person kin group coming up. Because we do consider a support group, we're kind of throwing that idea around. Is a support group an event? Is a support group it kind of falls on that. It's an ongoing thing, but it can be listed. It can be an event. We have the annual gingerbread event coming up in December, which we will highlight for caregivers over the age of 55 and make sure they're included in that.
And can you tell everybody what that's about?
Sure. So the annual gingerbread event, what is this, the fifth? I came along at the village probably about 3 years ago, so we were just entering that COVID phase. So I'm a little hazy as to what happened prior to COVID. I believe we did come along to one of the events that we had at the basement of the village, where all families are invited to join in. Gingerbread houses are available to make on site. There are gifts for the foster children. We do have a special guest visitor that usually joins us that day.
That wears a red suit.
That wears a red suit, yes. And it's just about the kids having fun, connecting, the families having fun, right? I'm not sure of what the exact details are right now. It is in the works. It will be in the mid-December timeframe, so that information will be listed on our website, and we will get it out as soon as possible. I did want to let you know about the Heart Tree event coming up tomorrow. They have an event tomorrow at the Pawtucket YMCA from 12:30 to 2:30, and that is in celebration of their 1-year anniversary, where they will have lots of things available there. Cotton candy.
So people will need to go to our website because we're actually running out of time. It did go by fast, like I told you all.
Okay.
We will put up some additional resources with the link to this video. I want to thank you, Christina, Shannon, and Dana for coming today and sharing information.
Thank you.
We're all in this together, and we're really excited about this opportunity that Office of Healthy Aging has provided to the village to continue to expand the work that we've done naturally and to reach out to other people that are in need throughout our state. So thank you all so much for coming today. Thank you.
Thank you. I did also want to just mention really quick that we were really lucky to have the expertise and guidance of Lori Tapazzato along the way, who heads up the Kinship Connections program for DCYF, who is a peer support program, which is a peer support program for kinship caregivers.
Okay, thank you. Good ad.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.